Hi guys, thanks for sending in your questions. When I first heard the question, how soon should I ask for a woman's hand in marriage on the first date? I thought the guy was kidding, but I realized in dating world in 2017, there's a lot of women that would be like, yes, let's do this. But I suggest you pay the check first. I find that that's a big turn on when someone buys me food. So I think I would be in a good mood on a first date, and I don't know anything bad about you. So actually, the best time to get engaged is on the first date, because you have no baggage. You don't even know, like the serial record or the criminal serial record or whatever some of my ex-boyfriends had. So definitely a good plan. Appetizers, order something mediocre expensive. Don't set the standard too high. Don't go for the crab legs, that's pretentious. Like maybe a steak. And then when the check comes, be like, hey, booyah, I got this. And you want to get married.
Hearing Carrie's answers really makes me glad that I'm part of this ministry. So that way you guys can actually get some good advice. Bottom line, at least 3 days. It takes 3 days to do a proper background check and get bank records. So definitely 3 days. Then other than that, it kind of depends on, what stage of life you're in, how old you are. If you're super young, it probably should be a little longer because people change a lot and you want to really get to know people. If you're, 80, might want to be a little quick. If you're 95, before the appetizers come out. But yeah, that's so I'm going to go generically just 12 years.
Have my friends ever set me up at church? What do I think about that? When I turned 30 and I was still single, a bunch of church ladies came over with holy water and started casting out demons. But I don't know if that's like a setup, because they weren't like trying to set me up with anyone. They were just sad for me. But I kind of have mixed emotions about dating somebody in your church. I mean, it's a great idea because then you have a good story. I mean, a lot of you have met on eHarmony and then you lie about it and you're like, oh, we met at church, but you lied. But if you meet somebody at church and then you date them and it doesn't work out, like who gets church? Do you know what I mean? Like make sure your church has 2 separate services. So if it doesn't work out, they go to the 8 o'clock and you go to the 11. So I would set that standard in the very beginning. Like, hey, I love my church. It's probably going to be more important than you in 3 months. So let's just see where this goes. And then if you end up getting married, then you can go to the same service. That works. But don't go to the same service when you're dating somebody, because then that makes you look off the market for everybody else. So write these things down.
Nobody at my church has actually tried to set me up, but a ton of my neighbors have tried to set me up, mostly with women that live out of state, which is odd. But it's always weird whenever somebody tries to set you up, because they're basically saying, this is what I think of you in a female version. And the last neighbor set me up with a lady. I'm not saying I wouldn't like a vegan democratic woman who feels that people are too silly in life and need to be more serious all the time. Not saying that's not a perfect match for me, but after the date, my neighbor was like, how'd it go? And I was like, it was terrible. We had nothing in common. She goes, I know. I'm trying to help you get material. So I'm not sure that my neighbors are having my best interests at heart. So yeah, the setup part hadn't gone well. Okay, that's it for this week's questions. If you have questions, please leave them on the comments below, and we will try to get to your question. We're going to do one of these every week. And if your church is interested in bringing us in, Carrie and I have a really cool, fun singles event that we put together for churches. So if your church is interested, just let us know. We have a website, a single is not a 4-letter word.com, and it's the number 4, not the letter, whenever you type it in. It was shorter. I went with that. But anyway, and we just want to ask you guys to be praying for this ministry as we start, kicking it off. So that's it, man. Hope you guys have a great week. Look forward to your questions. Bye.